Welcome back to Take That L podcast. We are on episode 17. Today we are going to be talking about Spider-Man 2. A bunch of new stuff got released this week. Who should take us right into it?
All right, so here is everything we know about the new Spider-Man 2 game. So it's being released in the fall of this year. PS or the PlayStation hasn't announced an official date for it, but they said fall of 2023. We're probably expecting September, October release. As of right now, it is a PS5 exclusive. We don't know if they're gonna port it to PC anytime soon. I'm hoping within the next year or so. Insomniac also said that this is a single player exclusive game. It is not a co-op, so your friends can't play Miles while you're playing Peter, vice versa. Um, but because it's a single player game, they have the option for the players to play as Miles or as Peter. So when you're roaming through New York City, you can choose either one to swing around with. But there are certain parts of the game that involve the story which you have to play as Peter, and parts of the story where you have to play as Miles. Um, on top of that, improved gameplay. They're including three different skill trees. So there's going to be one skill tree for Peter exclusively, one skill tree for Miles, and then a third skill tree that encompasses both Peter and Miles. If you guys haven't seen the 12-minute gameplay trailer that PlayStation released, they are introducing the symbiote suit for Peter. And within that gameplay, we saw really cool skills that Peter has that includes like a giant symbiote punch, which I think looks super freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
As yeah, as for the villains of this game, they've only released three of them, as far as we know, which include Venom, Craven, and Lizard. And we saw a little bit of the Lizard gameplay in the trailer, and I'm also super excited to see Peter and Miles go against Venom. I think that'd be super badass. And then last thing we know is that it's going to be an expanded map. So it's going to include both Queens and Brooklyn. And developers have said that the map is going to be twice as big as the first game, which is going to be super exciting.
There ain't no
What
way
do you
you're
guys
playing
think?
that on PS4.
Yeah,
There's
no.
no way you're playing that on PS4. Dude, like that
Thing's gonna
Master
be going
Chief.
off into the atmosphere is what it's gonna sound like.
I
Gonna play
know it's
like
gonna
that
be a
Star
rocket
Wars
ship.
game on release, dude.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about it. I love the first game. I haven't played the second game yet. I know Curtis, you played the entire second one through the completion, right?
Yeah, the Miles Morales set.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, I know how you guys know how I feel about the game. Having a game just having Miles solely on its own game was stupid. I think it could have easily been an expansion to the original Spider-Man. I think they just did that kind of as a cash grab. Because I mean, you do have interactions with Miles in the first one, and the story goes together really well. But it's like Miles is just kind of an incomplete game where it's like you finish it and you're like, okay, that was it. So seeing this and having it where you can switch between the two of them and free roam and having the map
Mhm.
twice as big, I think is going to be really cool. I mean, I 100% did the
Definitely.
first Spider-Man. I went through the entire city, did all the photographs, did all the pigeon grabs, did everything. So seeing this, I think it'll be fun. I think if you haven't watched the video, I would definitely recommend watching it. Very cool to see the symbiotes suit in action. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it so far.
Yeah, I was actually really pleasantly surprised by it. I'm not really someone who's been keeping up with a lot of the Spider-Man games, as you guys know. I do have a few questions though for some of the people who have played more of them. One of them was for like the villains. You said there was gameplay. I remember back in the day when I played the PS2 one, you could play as Venom. I know that the Venom suit is on Peter, but is there any like hints at being able to play some of the villains, like having
I,
an anti-hero
I doubt
arc
it.
type thing?
I don't think so, no.
Probably
They
Okay.
not.
haven't said anything about it. I know at least in the first one there was no ability to play as the villains because in the first one it was a
Yeah.
Sinister Six, and
Hmm.
you couldn't play as any of them, which I'm okay with. But I get that want to be able to play as the villain because they have some cool abilities that might be cool to try yourself as opposed to
Yeah,
always playing
I
Spider-Man.
thought I thought Craven the Hunter actually looked like a badass in this. I
Yeah,
always
he
thought he
does.
was like super cheesy as a villain, like he was like absolute D tier villain. But in this, I've always loved that archetype of like the grizzled hunter that is able to basically track and always hide his presence, and then especially with because Craven has superhuman strength, right?
Believe
Not too
so.
sure.
I'm pretty sure he does. I think he's almost like Captain America levels of strength.
I mean, most of the people that Spider-Man
Uh,
faces are either superhuman strength, they have some kind of like, you know, addition to them. Otherwise, you just kick
Yeah,
the shit out of them.
Oh
just a
yeah,
normal
I
dude.
had
Yeah.
one. I had one more question. Is this Miles so similar to the recent multiverse Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse?
a
Is
little bit.
this Miles in the same universe as Peter? Because I never played the first
Yes.
game.
Yes.
So they
Yes.
are okay. Okay, this is a universe where
It's
they both coexist
it's
and they're both Spider-Man.
Two Spider-Mans in the same universe. It's not multiverse type thing. No, they're all in the
Yeah,
same.
no.
Okay, okay, that's cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So in the first game, they kind of introduce Miles a little bit, and then the second one starts off with Miles and Peter. But I mean, since like this, Miles Morales Spider-Man starts off with Peter and Miles kind of like talking, and then Peter's leaving on vacation to go somewhere. So then Miles is kind of tasked with like protecting the city on his own, and that's kind of where the
Cool.
story kicks off with the second one. So it's
Right.
all in the same universe with that. But I mean, the first one you had, I'm trying to think of the villains in the first one. You had
It's like
what the hell is it? Yeah,
Electro,
Electrode.
Doctor Octopus, Vulture,
Yep, Vulture.
Rhino guy. What the
There,
fuck is his name?
Rhino. Yeah.
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 Yep. So I mean, you had a good. They were actually pretty fun to fight, and a lot of them had different play styles and how they fought. So I'm excited to see how they do with this one. But the gameplay looks
Shocker
pretty good.
too. Yeah.
I thought the
Yep,
cinematic
Shocker.
fights were really cool too. It really kind of blew me away. It reminded me of some of the God of War cinematics where a lot of the fights incorporate dynamic gameplay zipping directly into cinematic
Yep.
like actions
Yeah.
and then right back to the combat.
You
Yep.
should play the first one because the first one had that. I think you would like the first one if you just played the main story. I don't know if you would be the type of person to grind out the rest of the stuff. But what the first
They
one
have
did
new
really well
expansions, too.
compared to Miles, I know, no, I think you played the first one, right?
Yeah.
And Tusha, yeah. So like the first one, the suits have their own abilities and they're kind of diverse, and the amount of upgrades you can do for your equipment were pretty cool. So like if you had like the Iron Man spider suit, you know, with the legs that came out, that suit
Spider-Bro.
would have like one special ability that you could use as kind of like your ultimate ability once it charged up.
Okay.
They kind of took that aspect away a little bit in Miles Morales. That's why I felt like it was more of an expansion. But I think with the symbiote suit, it's going to do something like that, but just on a next, like another level. So
The
Seems
thing
like
with
it, yeah.
Miles is that like Miles has his like separate abilities besides the basic
Yeah, I
Spider-Man ones.
noticed that. Yeah, he had his
Like
invisibility.
got his
Miles
which is
has
shotgun.
that
yeah.
like the electricity.
he's got the discharge and the
Yep.
invisibility.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool.
I will pick up the Miles Morales probably in the next week or two here to play that through before this third one comes out because I want to be able to play through the full story. I've played that Spider-Man, the first one, twice. I've played it all the way through twice. And I played the expansion. The expansions are super good. Did they have any expansions for the Miles Morales game, or
I don't think so.
I
No.
think they might have had one,
Did they?
but I'll take a look
Okay.
quick.
'cause I can't remember.
Because I know in the
I don't
first one
remember
they had
seeing
like
anything.
the Black Cat expansion, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
they
like
had that one, and there was
the
one
the
other one that was more around
silver.
Sable. Yes,
Yeah. Yep.
it was around Sable. But
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
Miles
that's what I
Morales
thought.
didn't have any.
kind of goes
But
to show
no,
your old
the DLC.
Yeah.
Like I said, it should have been a DLC for the first one, but I think they released 2 or 3 DLCs for the first one, and they're just like, yeah, screw it, we'll just do a kind of like a spin-off. But
And they did the DLCs in the old-fashioned way, where they actually had to. I think you paid for the DLCs, which
yeah,
I'm okay with. Like if you're gonna build like a substantial add-on to the game, like those were, I'm okay paying a few extra bucks to play it. So
Yeah, so I actually bought the first Spider-Man on PC, and that included the 2 DLCs already. So I
okay,
thought that was super cool too.
nice.
Yeah.
Um, sweet. Yeah,
It
that's
sucks
Spider-Man
because
2.
it sucks
Go
because I don't have a PS5, so I can't buy this when it launches. So I'm just kind of waiting for like when's the PC version gonna come out
Oh
and everything.
shit!
But
So it's only announced on PS5 as of right now.
yes,
yep,
yep.
Okay.
yeah.
But
They
that's
fight hard for those exclusivity deals, man.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
but
do.
it also gives me like a better it gives me hope for the PC versions just because with Jedi Survivor, they released that both on PS5 and PC, and you guys already know how the PC version of that game is going. Like people had
Yeah.
so many issues and stuff, so I'm hoping that if they take their time with the PC port, that it'll be optimized and everything. So
Hmm.
that's my only hope with that.
I mean, another maybe slightly good news is how they're bringing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart to
Hmm.
PC. So even these exclusives are kind of, even though it's been a while since it's been out, they're kind of slowly making their way to PC. So I
Right.
mean, I guess it's a waiting game if you don't have a PlayStation, but
Yeah, it typically takes a year or two for them to port that over, but
yeah.
we can hop over to something that's coming out this week. I guess yesterday, as the time this was posted, Diablo 4 releases June 6th. It was already available for early access on June 2nd, so some of you probably already played it and are probably already quite a bit of the way into it. The initial reviews from some of the publishers that we've seen, caveat, none of us have played it yet, so take anything we have to say with it with that in mind. IGN does claim that this is one of the better Diablos that has been released. They, even though they aren't necessarily like breaking the mold of ARPGs, they made the right tweaks. Some of the initial notes that they made were story isn't great, but it's a step in the right direction, so it's better than Diablo 3. Just about everybody
Hmm.
hates Diablo 3. Not a whole lot of good reviews around that. Most of the story quests in Diablo 4 feel a little bit like filler from all the things that we've seen, but the overall like kind of meaningfulness of the story seems to be there, and they're taking like the overall series in the right direction from that standpoint.
Okay.
But the combat does seem to be a lot stronger in this one, and they've done a lot of tweaks and adjustments in that area. I think they've added some new classes, some new skill trees. The overall gameplay just feels better. And the overall end game is supposed to feel really strong. So, all the bosses that you have to fight, all the things outside the main story are supposed to feel really, really good.
Cool.
If it was me, I'd wait off like a week or so, since Blizzard has a really bad track record of releasing things in the last year or two. So, would give it a week or two to see like how actual like general public reviews come out about this game are. Blizzard is already saying that they plan to do extended support for this game, and what they're already have 2 expansions in development. Already an improvement on Diablo 3, which had 0. So very similar to like the whole Spider-Man Miles Morales thing, where they had 0 Miles Morales expansions. So good to see that Blizzard is already having 2 in development. They haven't released any release dates on when they expect those to come out, but that makes sense since the game hasn't even been released fully to the public yet. So,
Yeah.
are you guys planning on picking it up? What are you guys' thoughts? Have you guys seen anything else around Diablo 4 that I might have missed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can take it off. I think I have a relatively strong understanding of some of the crowd responses, just because I follow a lot of the Blizzard stuff that's been
Yep.
going on. I've been a big fan of their games in the past, and just like everybody else, I've been really let down with a lot of their recent releases. Diablo 4, like you said, everything I've seen from big time players of it, yes, it's a return to some of the more liked aspects and mechanics of the game. Like I have seen a
Okay.
lot of the gameplay mechanics, but you got to remember that this is coming off of the major down that was Diablo Immortal, the phone version of it.
Yeah.
So anything that people are saying, chances are what they're saying is it doesn't suck as bad as Diablo 3 and it's 10 billion times better than Diablo Immortal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, from everything I've seen, I love the cinematics in it. I love some of the story aspects of it. There are a few weaknesses that I've seen, but uh, one of the major things was the return of the cash shop. Of course, it's going to be back. It's a Blizzard game. People hated that in Diablo 3 because it basically allowed for pay to win
Yeah.
at a certain price point, even though it's like not necessarily a multiplayer experience a lot of the time. It can be, and allowing the cash shop to kind of override your hard earned like achievements with just spending a certain amount of money can be a big letdown for RPG type players like Diablo fans. So that's what I've seen. It looks like a really good game. It looks cool. I've sneak peeked a few of the cinematics because I don't necessarily know that I'm going to purchase this one, but any
That's
fan
fair.
of Diablo can probably play this one through and say, "Hey, I enjoyed that. That was a good experience."
Yeah, I was gonna say I got some coworkers that have been playing a lot over the weekend, and they're really liking it so far compared to the old
Nice.
ones. They're liking the stories, and my one coworker has been doing a lot of side quests. He said he's been doing side quests almost the whole weekend, and kind of having like each act separated out. So he was saying that instead of having to like do different worlds for each act, it's kind of just one whole open world setting that they have. So he liked that a lot more.
Cool.
But as far as the rest of the game, I mean, I've seen a little bit about it, but they've been saying that they really like it and they really think it's going to turn out to be a good game. Only problem for me is I have a hard time spending $70 on the base game for a digital copy. I know my boss bought the $100 edition so he could play early, and I'm like, I don't know, man. $70 for a digital copy of a game that I don't know how long will last. And with Blizzard's track record, I'm up in the air with it. So
Is this released on PS5 and PC, or is this just
yeah, it's on
exclusively?
console too.
I
Okay,
think it's
cool.
on everything.
Let,
Yeah, I don't
let me
think
take a
they've.
look.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think they've isolated it to a single platform. I know, Curtis, you're weird about not wanting to pay $70 for a digital game. Whatever. I don't like paying $70 in general for these types of games, but it is kind of what it is now. Like,
Well, I would be
that's the
okay.
new
So
system.
I would be okay with these price increases if when I bought the $70 game, I bought the full game and didn't have a cash shop in it. Why am I paying
Yeah.
$70 for part of
That's
the
fair.
game and then I got to pay more for the little incremental things that you're giving me? Just give me the whole game.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off. Like, I don't want to pay for a full game thinking I own it and then get in and be like, oh, I got to purchase 40% of the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I
I
don't
actually
know.
haven't played any of these games, but I think it was IGN, they posted an article saying that a player hit like level 100 on hardcore before the official game even was launched. I'm not sure
Yeah,
how
I
hard
saw
that is
that.
to do or like how much time that takes, but
It's pretty grindy.
That's
is
like
it?
ball
Okay.
torture, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
CBT,
Yeah.
Connor? Jesus, that's crazy to me.
I mean, yeah,
Hardcore,
there's
if you spend 40 hours grinding to a certain level in that game and you die, you lose all of it.
Oh,
That's what
okay, I
I mean, it's
hardcore
like
see.
is.
Minecraft hardcore.
And there's a
Right.
lot of ways to just randomly die in Diablo because you didn't know that there was a certain type of hard enemy waiting around a corner.
That's crazy.
That takes a lot of time, man. I give that guy props. Probably
Yeah.
24 hours on
Was it
that
like
game
I
all
wonder if it was
day.
like a team of people. I wonder if it was like a team of people. I only saw like that an account reached it. They didn't necessarily give a ton of details. But like, I remember
Yeah.
like when all the new Call of Duties come out, they'd have like those group of streamers that would always like race to max prestige, and it'd be like a group of like
Yeah.
5 guys that just play for a week
Yeah.
straight. I don't know
Blizzard
how
does
good.
do that a lot, like Race to World First with World of Warcraft.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm wondering if it's one of those types of situations where they just had like a team of people, but at the same time, if I
Could
was that
be.
guy that died, and your team wakes up and you're dead. That'd be like the worst feeling ever. So I
They
have to
just have like a
imagine one of those things
chug
happen.
of Red Bull next to them, and they like just tip it.
Yeah.
Their team just tips it over, and like then a
Just starts
Doritos bag in the
waterboarding
other
them with
end.
Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
just
so,
stimulants.
but okay, Diablo 4. I'm interested to see what comes out here in the next week about it. Because I think we've already kind of seen some of the thoughts from that first week of all the early access players. That can kind of go one way or the other. Either they're super positive about it, or they're just pissed off that they spent all this extra money to get early access. But a ton of more people will get it in the next week, and we should have a better idea, like kind of what the general opinion of this game is. So excited to see how that develops over the next few days.
Oh yeah.
On to other Blizzard news. Bobby Kotick recently did an interview and sat down with Variety. I'll let Connor dive into all the specifics around this, but got some interesting stuff to break down out of this.
Yeah, Bobby Kotick is one of the whole reasons why I always talk about Blizzard games with this like sense of take it with a grain of salt mentality, because I know that a lot of the management is like this, and anybody who hasn't seen the interview, you should definitely go watch at least clips of it or one of your favorite influencers like talking about it. But basically, he is saying that all these scandals that Blizzard's gone, and anybody who's in the gaming sphere knows about these Blizzard scandals have been massive. All these huge corporations always try and outdo each other with how scummy they can be, and this is definitely no different. So Bobby Kotick has been in his own scandals before. I remember he's been in ones where he's given death threats to people, like
Jesus.
personally as the CEO. Um, there have been huge sexual harassment culture scandals within the company of Activision Blizzard itself, where a lot of like people were being really degrading towards other people in the office in like a sexual harassment manner, and they had to settle for huge amounts of money for those. And for Bobby Kotick to go into this interview and basically downplay it and say, "Oh no, it's a mischaracterization of our culture."
Hmm.
It, one, it makes no sense if he was didn't have his own scandals, and two, because he has his own scandals, it comes across as him just trying to play the corporate scam of like, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna say it doesn't exist and it's not real. It's just my enemies trying to bring me down." It's like, no, this is what's happened. The people who are viewing it that way are just viewing the reality of the situation. They're not. It's not a mischaracterization.
Right.
There were horrible things that have happened in that company, and you as a CEO, a lot of your policies and even some of your own actions have led to these bad things happening. So the fact that he's going to come into a interview and just downplay everything is just so bad character to me that it puts into question any future like business things, especially with the Microsoft merger that's happening soon with Blizzard.
Hmm.
Like I see me for one, I was kind of happy as long as they got rid of Bobby Kotick. I was like, take Microsoft and Blizzard and mash them together, and then get rid of some of the bad management, and maybe we'll see like good Blizzard games return. But how can I trust that when the main CEO of Blizzard comes out and he's clearly not a good person? You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, you can tell just from that little clip of the video that he's two-faced. You can tell when he's saying like, "Oh, nothing's happened." These accusations are just
Isolated
a
incidents or
myth.
something like that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you can tell this guy is so full of shit. And the way he says too with like the Microsoft merger, saying like, "Oh, there's a lot of competition out there and we've had really successful games." It's like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like,
Yeah, that's a good thing. I want to bring that up actually. I want to see what you guys think of that. So basically,
yeah,
what Bobby
go
Kotick
ahead.
said is that video games nowadays are less about the story aspect of it and more about the
Mm.
visceral gameplay. So like cooperation and like just the essence of being in a war or in a fight or something like that. What do you guys think about that as
I
avid
think that is a
video game
load
players?
of bullshit, and you have to just look at the Game Awards from last year. All the top ones: Horizon Zero
Yep.
Dawn, God of War, Elden Ring. What were the other ones?
Stray was in the top ones too.
Stray. All ones that are fantastic stories. So it's a combination of both. Having the
Hmm.
ability to build great gameplay on top of really good story is where the best games come out of. And if you're not willing to invest in story, means you're kind of just willing to do a half-ass game.
Yep.
And
For the
it's super
reasons that
telling too because you've seen in the games that Activision has created, they are clearly going for the viscera of the gameplay and leaving the story in the dust when that's half of the reason that people played Blizzard games in the past in the first place.
Mhm.
People loved World of Warcraft, they loved the original Warcraft games, Diablo, Overwatch because of the potential for story, the
Yeah.
potential to have a legacy for that game in the future when there are new games of it. And like Overwatch 2, no story really at all, like just a few tidbits. There's no commitment to the story anymore. And you've
No,
seen
it's
that
just
the
a
community has suffered because of it. They don't enjoy them just as much as they used to.
it's just a multiplayer grind fest now. I mean,
Yeah. They even
it's kind of
canceled
what
their
Call of Duty
PvE.
turns into.
Yeah, they canceled their
Yeah.
PvE, and like that was the thing I was most excited about for Overwatch 2 was the PvE like story mode. And they're just
Yeah.
Mhm.
straight out like, "Oh yeah, we're not doing that anymore." It's like,
Yeah,
"Well
because the
then
characters in
I'm not
Overwatch
gonna
are cool,
play."
right?
Yeah,
Like you wouldn't
exactly.
it have been cool to play a campaign with the Overwatch characters? And they just said no, we're going for the visceral gameplay. And the loop sucks now. There's no weight behind the character's actions anymore.
Yeah.
So
Now
now
it's
it's just
just now it's just
multiplayer and the
now
multiplayer
it's
isn't that fun.
yeah, now it's a champion that you play that has a certain set of abilities that you're not really tied to beyond those set of abilities on whether or not they're the meta. Like you will
Yep.
happily switch
Yeah,
characters if it's not the meta anymore because you don't necessarily have a tie to them.
Yeah.
Versus,
exactly.
I would even say like Call of Duty. Like you kind of want to play some of the cool characters from the campaigns. Like that's one thing. Like when they didn't do campaigns in Call of Duty for a while, you were kind of pissed off because you're like, man, these campaigns are actually pretty good, even though they're not necessarily the like longest thing in the world. Like they're only like 6 to 10 hours tops. But that's like one example of like Activision Blizzard games that actually did do a good job with the story. Now they didn't win any awards and they weren't the longest stories in the world, but they at least made an investment alongside multiplayer to do that.
I thoroughly enjoyed all those original Call of Duty campaigns.
Yeah.
I thought they were
Oh yeah,
very
me
well
too.
made.
Yeah. Again, they're not the longest thing. They're like 5 to 10 hours, depending on how fast you want to play through it. But they're super good. So
Yeah, I mean, another thing I want to bring up with this interview too is towards the end, where he says he wants to bring AI to Guitar Hero, and they're asking him when they're like, if that's in the makes of bringing out another Guitar Hero, and he's like, well, we could definitely make a really good Guitar Hero, and we want to put some AI into it. It's like, what the
how,
fuck?
how the fuck does those even tie together?
Yeah, can someone explain to me where the AI is integrated into that?
That wasn't even part of the question. I think they asked him, "What game franchise do you think could make a return in the next 5 to 10
Yeah.
years?" And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, I don't know. It's hard to choose just one, but I think with the help of AI, we could really bring back Guitar Hero. I was like,
Yeah, that's what I was
oh.
saying. Where is the AI assisting in the
Now, if you
creation
want,
of a
if you
new
want to have,
Guitar
if you
Hero?
want to
The
have,
only
if you
thing
want to
that I
have
could
AI help develop it, that's one thing. But are you gonna build AI into Guitar Hero to like? Does I don't. It doesn't make any sense how the
Tisha,
two
you had
work
an
together.
idea?
Yeah, so the only thing that I could think of that would include AI into making Hero is that the AI would like listen to the song and then like pinpoint the different notes that you would press when you're
Mhm.
playing the actual game. Like that's the only thing that I can reasonably think of that like, oh yeah, AI could definitely help with that, but
But
Oh,
I
like
don't.
maybe one of those singing games where like it kind of tries to match your pitch if like
right,
you
Yeah,
get the right pitch
exactly.
or not.
Are you
Exactly,
Okay.
talking about like
yeah.
the scoring, or what are you talking about?
No, like
Yeah, so like
when
depending
the
how
frets
close you
come
are
up,
to the right pitch.
Oh,
when
okay,
the
that's right.
frets
Okay.
come up on the screen, whatever, like AI could help match the different colors to the different notes of the song, kind of thing, make it easier for the developers
That
to
too,
to
yeah.
make it. But
Yeah.
So yeah, if it helps in the development of the game, I guess that would make sense.
I
I know
just
it's
don't
just like an
find
off.
it.
It was just an off the
Yeah,
cuff thing he said. So like, I don't know if we should
right.
really be judging it that scrutiny. But it's just like the whole thing recently with any of these like new CEOs are like AI, AI,
Yeah.
yeah.
invest in
I
us,
didn't
invest
find
in
it
AI.
something significant enough to start off with bringing that back.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we're bringing back this, but with AI, it's like you could
Yeah,
have,
all my all
said something
my
else or
all the major franchises of Activision Blizzard have been failing for the past 6 years or so. Let's talk about bringing back Guitar Hero as the main point of interest.
And make sure you say AI so people get
I
excited.
Yeah.
mean, if they actually made a good Guitar Hero, I would totally buy it. I think that would be cool, but I don't know. They'd have to, do different guitars and everything else that would be compatible with PC. Because I don't.
That's the thing.
I
That's
mean,
that's the thing about
they might
Guitar Hero. We
release
got
it
to
on
buy all the extra
PlayStation,
shit to
but
go along with it. It's not something you can just buy
True,
and
yeah.
play. It's you got to buy the whole thing, and that's. I'm sure now, with inflation since it last came up, I'm sure that whole thing's gonna be $200 by the time
You
you
just
get to
buy
it.
a real guitar now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
pretty
right.
much.
Might as well. It's probably cheaper than buying the whole Guitar Hero set. So we'll see what happens, but all interesting
Yeah,
stuff coming out of that.
I mean, yeah. Guess we'll see. On just a side note here too, I was gonna ask you guys if anyone's seen Across the Spider-Verse yet, since we
I
were
haven't,
talking
I
about
mean,
Spider-Man earlier. But
I haven't seen it, but I'm planning to this weekend with Emily,
yeah,
so that's gonna be
so that is
exciting.
out now. Really excited to see it. I had a couple guys at work that watched it, and they said it was absolutely
They saw it
awesome.
already?
My
Yeah,
brother saw it as well. He said
Jealous.
it was really good.
opening
So
night. He said
jealous.
if the movie was another 3 hours long, he would have sat in the theater on top of
I've
whatever
heard
the
really
fill
good
time
things, but
was.
I did hear one thing already. Like people had a hard time like hearing the dialogue because there's a lot of
Oh yeah, I heard
music
that
over the
too.
fight scenes. So you couldn't understand what people were saying. So I don't know if that's something like rolling out as like a fix, which is weird to say about a movie, but
Hot fix for a
Hot
movie, yeah.
a
patch.
hot fix for a movie is a weird thing to say in the first place. But that was like the only critique that I've heard of that movie. But otherwise, everything is. I'm super excited to go see it. I'll probably see it in the next
Yeah,
week.
and I guess it's already one of the highest grossing animated films after
Hell
releasing a
yeah.
couple days ago.
I'm
So
sure it is.
I'm
yeah,
so
excited to
excited.
see that though. So that's on my agenda to find some time to watch that. But yeah,
Sweet. We can wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. Once again, this is episode 17. If you guys haven't already, make sure you follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, are the main two spots we're looking at right now. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll get notifications for whenever we post a podcast. And we'll see you guys in the next few weeks.
yeah. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Peace.